You've probably never seen toilets like this before.
Take a look. It's all these toilets. I'm shocked. I've never seen so many in one place.
No one knows for sure why there are so many toilets out in the open in a parking lot. Some Chinese speculate that there might have been a public washroom before and it was demolished, leaving behind the toilets. But some people have commented, anything is possible in Red China. Even with walls and roofs, squatting toilets will be embarrassing to use given there is no separation or privacy. But for many Chinese, it's a kind of memory. For a long time, like in the 1970s and 1980s, most public washrooms in China, including the ones in schools, didn't have internal cubicles. Such washrooms still exist in parts of China. A Taiwanese female artist recalled her time in Beijing via Instagram in January this year. She posted a scene from a public toilet in an area of Beijing she visited in 2018. There were 5 toilets, 1 sitting toilet, and 4 squatting ones, but no partitions between the 5 toilets. She wrote, "It's a bit awkward to see my friends in the ladies' room, but I've gotten used to it and can survive in Beijing." Before 2015, when tourists from abroad visited rural China, what they couldn't stand the most was perhaps the rural toilets. A squat toilet is a toilet that can store excrement by digging a hole in the ground without flushing facilities. Chinese peasants usually have it built next to a pig pen, so when one uses the toilet, one can see pigs around. When Xi Jinping was a teenager, he was deported to the rural areas like many young people at the time by Chairman Mao. Toilets in the countryside may have made too much of an impression on him. When he became the head of the Communist Party, he personally initiated a nationwide toilet revolution campaign in 2015. He emphasized that it would improve the quality of China's tourism industry, and small victories will be accumulated to become big victories to boost tourism. Later, on several occasions, he expressed his concern about the toilet revolution, emphasizing that the toilet issue isn't a small matter and should be addressed not only in tourist spots and cities, but also in rural China. Therefore, mainland China has not only launched a toilet revolution in major cities, but also in rural areas. The CCP has even allocated annual funds for the campaign, with more than $1.1 billion in 2020 alone, to support the toilet revolution in rural areas. This has since become one of Xi Jinping's signature projects.
Toilets. Rural toilets can be said to be the smallest and tiniest insignificant matter. You even think of such small detail for us. People are very grateful to the government.
You can see a little embarrassment on Xi's face when he heard the compliment. Why didn't Xi seem to appreciate it? Because back in January 2021, the senior official leading the toilet revolution, or the Vice Minister of China's Ministry of Culture and Tourism, was expelled from the Communist Party and public office for serious violations of party discipline and law. At almost the same time, China's state news agency, Xinhua, the top party media outlet People's Daily, and many other media published a series of reports criticizing local officials for deceiving their superiors and subordinates, engaging in the formality, and turning the toilet revolution initiative, instructed by Xi Jinping himself, into a heartbreaking project that caused damage. The CCP's bureaucratic system is characterized by corruption and extremism. No matter how good the intentions are, they can be twisted and turned into a joke or a tragedy. Luxurious public washrooms started to appear in some cities as if there was a competition to see who has it more luxurious and novel. Tourist attractions are supposed to be profit-making organizations for the local government. The cost of providing tourist toilets should be part of the expenses of each tourist site itself. However, some local officials have taken advantage of the toilet revolution and diverted large sums of cash from the central treasury to renovate toilets and tourist attractions. Some cities or scenic spots have invested as much as $150,000 to $300,000 US to construct 5-star toilets.
看看，这就是习主席搞的厕所革命。
Look at this washroom. It's the toilet revolution that Chairman Xi is pushing for. I guess this is his only political achievement. I am in a washroom next to Binjiang Park in Hamjiang City. This place is so luxurious. I guess this is his only political achievement. There is a resting place here too. On the other hand, because rural villages can receive subsidies from the central government to renovate their toilets, which is also an opportunity for making a profit, local officials are very motivated to push the toilet campaign. The Chinese media has reported cases where village officials have inflated the number of toilets and used them to cheat the central government for subsidies. The forced rollout of the toilet revolution in rural areas has added to the burden and inconvenience of local people. The cost of hiring a professional vehicle to transport the excrement has become a burden for rural Chinese because they can't access the sewage network and septic tanks need to be cleaned regularly. Faced with various problems, many Chinese have reverted to using squat toilets. In the January 2021 issue, the CCP's official social media account posted some of the practices of the rural toilet revolution. For example, installing the toilet directly across from the stove, renovating the toilet without plumbing, and flushing it by manually ladling water afterward. The toilet becomes frozen when the temperature is low, and hot water has to be poured before using it. At the same time, Xinhua News Agency published a commentary article pointing out that most of the outdoor washrooms built between 2016 and 2018 have been abandoned. For example, in one jurisdiction, more than 80,000 washrooms have been rebuilt over the past 5 years with an investment of more than 100 million RMB, but more than 50,000 have been abandoned. Many officially built washrooms look nice but are not functional. As a result, local villagers have to build something that's functional. Some end up building simple ones in covert places further away from their homes, causing much inconvenience to their lives. Although it's the local officials and local governments that are the direct targets of criticism by the official CCP media, it can potentially make Xi feel bad because shortly after he became party leader, he put forward a catchphrase for the entire nation in 2013, namely, the Chinese dream to revitalize the Chinese nation. Does he ever wonder why even a small dream of renovating toilets can't be realized?
Can we use the washroom here?
It's for employees only.
Do you have washrooms here?
There are no washrooms here.
Yes, you do. We were here last time, and we know there are washrooms here. You're lying to us. We come here to report problems, which is also part of what the government does, and now you don't even let us use the washrooms. Is it true that the people's government now won't allow the public to use the washrooms? Why? What is the reason? I'm at your workplace, and it's part of your job to receive feedback from the public. But I'm not even allowed to use the washroom. What is the reason?